Welcome to In Your Element podcast, where we dive into stories of those thriving in their element. From entrepreneurs, influencers, to chefs, musicians, and the community leaders, we explore their journeys, struggles, and successes. I'm Randall Pink with Natalie Kaufman, and today we're bringing you another incredible conversation with Mom and Them Coffee. All right, welcome back. This is In Your Element podcast. I'm Randall Pink.
I'm Natalie Kaufman.
And today we have
Tony Ferrari.
And Madeline Hiley.
Welcome. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Just tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do and what's in your element.
So I'm Tony Ferrari. Along with my brother, we run Mom and Them Coffee, which I would imagine you guys know, hopefully. We also do tons of events and a lot of like little side hustles and stuff. Reason why we're here today is because of our guy Maddie, and we're into cars and lifestyle and stuff of that nature. Yeah.
I gotta ask. So your name's Tony Ferrari.
That's right.
And do you happen to like cars? And
Oh yeah, love
right
cars.
On. Right.
Love
on.
cars.
And what about yourself?
So I'm Madeline, and I am in the salon world. I work backstage when I'm not behind the chair. So we do a lot of traveling, both locally and around the globe, actually. But our team is headquartered out in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we do a lot of training together, and we'll work backstage at the Fashion Week circuits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then when I'm in town, I'm behind the chair. And when I'm not there, I'm taking care of our two boys or his opinionated cheerleader in the background of all of his...
What's your team's name?
Shokunin Click.
Oh, nice.
So Shokunin is kind of... it's the Japanese master or apprentice mastering their craft. So that's kind of us. We're just a bunch of little shokunins trying to master our craft.
That goes really well together.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
I gotta ask, how did you guys meet?
Well, it's a long story, you know. She was cutting my hair, and
No.
I'm kidding.
No, so I had a podcast back in the day, and it was called Bottled Banter, and it was myself and a really good girlfriend of mine, Sammy, and we would kind of do a little bit of traveling, but we drink wine along the way and then kind of talk about it. But we loved most kind of bringing in other women like-minded, and we talk about their businesses. And like Stephanie Webster from The Rind, we chatted a little bit, and Molly from Spruce. And we just kind of like get to know each other and talk about things that people locally don't really know behind the scenes and how businesses are run. And yeah.
That's kind of what this is about, is like kind of giving them a platform to talk about what's in their element, whether or not it's music or entrepreneurship or a business of some sort, because there's a lot that goes into that, as I'm sure you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
So then you have Mom and Them's Coffee.
Yeah, so I'm a chef by trade, so my whole life been cooking and traveling, live all over the place. So yeah, we always loved coffee. Our father's from Italy, dad's from Italy, mom's the American girl next door, and so growing up we drank tons of coffee, and just it was in our DNA and it's our culture. And so me and my brother go out every morning for coffee, and one day we said, why don't we open our own coffee shop? We could just go to our own place, save a lot of money that way as well. So that's what we did, and I feel like, as time goes on, we sort of converted to that late night restaurant sort of vibe to more of a morning kind of lifestyle coffee. It's just kind of a different perspective, if you will. And I think especially now with kids, like the morning time's a little bit more kind of lucrative than the late nights. So yeah, we still do tons of food as well. We still do like a lot of private events, but definitely more so coffee forward. We roast coffee as well, so we have the roastery side of things as well, and doing a lot of wholesale, and get into like the small markets and different grocery stores of that nature. So hopefully we could take it national and do some cross the country kind of sales. But yeah, we feel like one day at a time, one step at a time. We don't want to grow too big too quickly. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's not good either.
No.
So yeah,
You started the coffee was your passion.
yeah, coffee and food's always been something we really loved and always were surrounded by. So it's kind of like what's been introduced to us from a young age. And we always enjoyed the big family dinners, Sunday supper kind of thing. So for us, we never wanted that to leave. So by opening a restaurant, Sunday suppers every night, like every day we're with people and serving and drinking wine, and just it's fun. It's enjoyable.
Can you like describe what is Mom and Them Coffee? Like if someone who's never been or heard of it, what are they going to expect when they walk in?
So essentially, it was supposed to be a very small, simple kind of coffee shop, which has turned into a lot bigger than that. When people ask me what is Mom and Them, we kind of don't know, honestly. It's its own little unique thing. It's not quite a restaurant. It's not really just a coffee shop anymore, but very much like a third place where people kind of come to gather. I mean, we have all walks of life come in, and it's a place where I feel like people can just be them, be you, hang out with your neighbors, friends, family, whatever. And it just so happens that we have good coffee and food as well.
You brought so much of San Francisco
so-
back to Cincinnati too.
Yeah, just trying to bring
And-
different vibes. And
Yeah, and I think that's
know?
what makes it special also, is people get like that vibe that they haven't found here yet, that you brought with you.
Yeah,
And
just a very natural thing. We spent 10 years in San Francisco, and we came back just kind of wanted to bring our world there a little bit here. And I think what makes us, successful is that it truly comes from me and my brother, and not just like a design firm or whatever. It's like everything that's there is we picked it out, we touched it, has a story behind it. The artwork on the walls is something we care about.
That's
It's
amazing.
not just, we don't just go buy stuff and fill it because it has to be there, right? So everything's very curated. A lot of people always want to say, can I hang my art or can I bring this or whatever? We're like, nah, it's not really.
It's not your thing.
Yeah, it's not like there's not a connection. Why would we put it in here, It doesn't really make sense. So I think that's the biggest part of our success is it's really coming from me and my brother as opposed to just this kind of model, right? This model works. It's like, our model is us. I think that's important.
Where were you born and raised?
Here in Cincinnati.
Here in Cincinnati,
Yep.
and then you guys went out to San Francisco
Yeah.
for 10 years,
Yep.
you said?
That's right.
What did you end up finding out there? Like, I mean, did you I know you said that you've always had a kind of a thing for coffee, but like what actually made you think like, okay, coffee is going to be our thing?
So the West Coast, as you guys, I would imagine, dreamt of or always thought of, like we grow up watching the movies of Hollywood and LA. And I think as a young culinarian, when I was getting in the field reading culinary books, all the cool chefs were in San Francisco. All the cool chefs were in LA. All the movie stars are in LA, So you're thinking like, man, one day I have to go to California. Like that's the dreamland, like the West Coast, the crazy West. So I went out to basically live that lifestyle I would read about and watch in the movies. I wanted to be a part of that. And when we got there, it was very much that. Like San Francisco was that crazy art city, hippieville, like basically be yourself, do what you want, walk around naked, who gives a damn, right?
Really?
Like,
See,
and it was truly this, right? Like,
I wouldn't even know what to expect.
I mean, you spec everything, right? Like anything you want to get into, anything that you love, it's there and you'll find it, right? There's a community there for you. So I felt very, very attached, very a part of something. I'm like, this is awesome. Like all the best chefs, the produce here. You can go to any farmer's market, you could drive 20 minutes anywhere outside that city and you're in a cornfield or you're in, Garlicville or you're in, you're in a freaking cow's ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible, man. Like, for me, I was in heaven, right? Like, we would, every year we would, transform turkeys, so we would slaughter them for Thanksgiving, and I would make cheese with this woman up in Napa Valley. Like, there's just so much going on there. It's endless, right? So to be exposed to that, again, when you're watching on TV or reading in books, it's one thing, but when you're actually there doing it, all that stuff starts to make sense growing up. You're like, this is why I wanted to come here. So bringing a little bit of that back to Cincinnati, I thought was not only important, but, to give others opportunity that might not be able to make it out there. We have plenty of farms here. We have plenty of that going on here. We just have to seek it out a little bit more. You have to work a little harder and kind of push back the bushes a bit. But it is here. It is here, and it's great. And it's
I think
beautiful.
we all hit a point in our career too where like you just said, we want to pay it forward also.
Yeah, 100%.
You were at that point too where like you got you did what you needed to do in San Francisco, and then it was your time to pay that forward to your mom
Yeah, that's right.
or to like young chefs who haven't been exposed to that culture. And it was so easy to bring that back here too.
Yeah, it's so natural.
Yeah.
So whether people got it or not, or that's on them. But we tried our best to, and we still do every day, to sort of inspire or implement that kind of lifestyle. And I think it's a good lifestyle to have.
I definitely think that you could tell a difference when somebody starts a local owned business here that hasn't been outside of Ohio.
That's right.
Or to be able to have that opportunity to kind of go out, see not necessarily like the real world, how the real world works,
Right.
but to go out there and see other cultures, see other things that are going on outside of like your neighborhood, and then being able to bring that back in your neighborhood, and then all of a sudden that it's looked at as a unique concept, right?
Totally.
Well, I've never heard of that. I've never done that. It's like, well, things are going out down there, like, and to be able to grasp something, whether it's the coffee or the wine,
Sure.
and bring that back.
That's right.
That's really cool.
You know what's funny too is when you go and travel and you experience these cultures, you're like, wow, it's just so simple. Like no matter what, you're like, what, like if we just broke it down into this, and simplified it, and all we had to do was just do that and then bring it back here. Like who would have thought that, your egg sandwich would be like the biggest menu, and it's just so simple.
Simple stuff. So less is more.
Yep. Less is more.
Less is more.
We've definitely heard that.
I think that's like comes with age as well, right? When we're young, we want to be like the best.
You want to do it all.
I want to do all this stuff, and it's like really none of that matters, man. Like less is more. Like quality over quantity.
100% on that.
So I have a question. So where is your main location? Do you have multiple locations? Do you have...
Yeah, we have two. The original is in Camp Washington, just off Hopple Street exit. It'll come up on 6 years on Mother's Day. And then we have just down the street, Madisonville, here on Bramble and Wetzel, is our second location. It's coming up on 3 years in June.
Awesome.
So yeah, we don't have any initial plans to open up anymore at the moment. Maybe in the future we may. But we're really working on that back end, like we said, like the roastery, kind of getting in the retail space. We're in Jungle Gyms, Kroger, Dorothy Lane. So really trying to get more of that those assets behind us instead of just opening more places because, things are expensive and staffing is hard to come by. So
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So take us a little bit back. I mean, well, actually explain the roastery actually real quick.
Yeah. So after a couple of years, I think I would say not all, but most coffee shops I feel are the natural next step is to kind of roast your own coffee, especially the ones that sort of geek out on it and really really want to control flavor, control where you buy from. So we brought on our head roaster Colin as a barista, and when we interviewed him, it said my dream is to have a roastery one day. We said we'll make that happen for you if you work hard for us. 3 years later, he has his own roastery now. So he's a partner in it. It's not just us, it's very much him as well. He's the backbone, a scientist behind it. Like he loves coffee. I mean, he loves it. He writes everything down. He tests all this stuff. So before we opened the roastery, he had this little mini roast machine, and he'd be in the office just roasting these beans all day. I'm like, Colin, what the hell is that smell, man? Something's burning. And here he is roasting this coffee over here. And so fast forward, we have a huge pro bat and just go through a lot of coffee. It's insane. We roast every Wednesday. We're probably going to start going into more days a week now. We're kind of bulking up. But it's fun being able to kind of curate your own blend and really work with the farmers and small guys, make sure they're getting their profits and stuff of that nature. It's interesting. It's a big business. It's a very controlled. It's very political. It's amazing that how much goes into coffee, just, even just like avocados, right? It's behind the scenes, it's kind of scary just to get that avocado to your table.
So then do you purchase local, or is it sourced local, or is it overseas?
So it's a lot of it's going to be overseas, lots of Ethiopia, North Africa.
Nice. Did you guys
Guatemala,
take a trip
Colombia.
out there?
Yeah. My brother and Colin went recently to visit one of the farms, and it was their first time. They were blown away. I think they came back with a different perception too, right? We really got to take care of these little guys because they work their asses off. So
I think that's so inspiring. Like, you and your brother just really taking that initiative to be like, no, this is our business. We want to go find out the best products. We want to bring it back to you guys. Like, because you do have some that were just like, oh, that sounds good, we'll sell it. And you are more like, no, we're going to find what's the best out there. So that's very, very important.
Make sure everything follows suit behind it and tasting everything and, just trying to be as, equal as we possibly can. Try to think of nature in mind and the economy and stuff of that nature. Like, it's very important that all that has to play a factor, or else it's kind of pointless to us,
Right.
We're not really doing any good deeds for anybody by not doing that.
I'm so intrigued by you guys, and I think you guys are so like hardworking and go-getters, and I want to know, what is like a day in the life look like?
She knows a little bit,
What is the behind the scenes, the day in the life? You get up in the morning, what does it look like?
Strap onto a roller coaster and you go.
Yeah, our lives are extremely hectic, but extremely like organized chaos at the same time. I don't think we would know any other way. Like, when we do relax or on vacation, like after 2 days, we're like, dude, we're so bored. That's like it.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta
He's
get
not
back
the
to
guy
work.
you bring to the beach.
Yeah.
Right, you're like, so where are we going? I need an itinerary.
That's exactly
like,
right.
I can't
Like,
just, yeah.
When we go to travel, I have a whole plan of like places to visit, coffee, food, friends. Like, there really is.
But that's what it should be
There
about.
really isn't a dull moment, especially now with 2 little boys too. So like, we get up and it's like, even our sons now are just like, Daddy, let's go for coffee. I'm like, let's go.
Nice.
I'm waiting.
Got him trained
Let's
well.
go.
Yeah.
Like, and even he gets pissed. He's like, I thought we were going for coffee. I want to go now.
No, I want to go to that shop.
So, and he knows all the shops. And like, when we get close to him, he's like, coffee shop down the street.
Are you
So
kidding?
we frequent pretty much most of them. And so, yeah, our work days are like, we get up and, check emails in the morning, kind of get the day going. Then we'll go back and forth to locations. We'll check in on retail space. Our wholesaler partners, kind of like, you guys need anything? How are things selling? What can we do to help? So always just checking in on quality, always checking in on the crew. I think also not only just as a crew and production, but also we really care about people as people. Like, what's going on in your life? What do you need? Is there any struggles? Is there anything, do you need a week off to go do this? Or do you have any events in your life coming up? Is your family healthy? Like, what can we do to help you along? Whether we we let people borrow money to buy cars. Like, what do you guys need to fulfill your dreams? And also, feel like you're a family to us, because we want you to stick around for a long time. We're happy to invest in people that want to invest in us. So it's extremely important.
Obviously, like, you want to grow and never ever peak, right?
That's right.
And it's like having that, like, your family, pretty much your employees that work with you, you want to be like, you want them there for the long run.
That's
like,
right.
I want you to grow with us.
That's
and
right.
I think the way that you treat them is that, and that's amazing. That's all anybody
Yeah.
could really ask for.
It's super important. And right away, like, who's hungry and who wants it. And, to us, it's important to invest in time into those people. And if they have, aspirations and dreams and whatever, it's like, we need to fulfill them. We need to make sure that they're getting to those goals and, building that foundation for them to then, whether they grow with us and become, a manager or whatever, or go off somewhere else, we want to know that they're going to the next best place, and also that we train them correctly, where the new place says, where in the heck did you come from, man? Like, you're amazing. So that's our duty. That's our duty as mentors and as business owners. And, it's like, if we don't send somebody off to a better place, then all that work we just did is sort of a waste of time. And
It's so true.
and sort of how do you say, like, we then didn't do our duties. We're just kind of there. So
I love how invested you are with the employees, because as a local business owner, where you're like, hey, I want to grow, right? And I think sometimes businesses will just get that itch to, like, oh, open up this location, this location. And then all of a sudden maybe their quality dips.
that's right.
Or they'll just hire anybody, and
100%.
everybody. And then how can you really know all your people that you're working for?
Sure.
And the fact that you're sitting there and saying, hey, we got the 2 locations. I know my employees. I'm willing to invest in my employees, to keep them there longer, keep them happy. I mean, in today's society, that's what people really
man.
need.
And honestly, like, growth really doesn't mean more money, to be honest. Sometimes it does, but most time means just more headache, more responsibility, Maybe on the back end, like some buying power might come in play with some savings, but it really doesn't mean a whole lot more money. And for that extra money, what are you giving up? You know, what are you sacrificing for that extra couple bucks? And is it worth it? You know,
Yeah.
for me, it's not really worth it. And I think the older I get, the more I'm like, less is more, right? Like, I don't need 20 locations. It sounds like a nightmare to me. Like, why?
Can't be everywhere.
Yeah, why,
Yeah.
So
why
what's
would
the
you
point?
want to
Right.
control 20 places when you can do 2 really well, you
Yeah.
know? And at the end of the day, it's probably really about the same money after
Yeah.
all said and done.
Yeah, and I feel like, and you want it to be special, right? Like, you're gonna have 50 locations, and not that I'm saying it's not gonna be special, but it's like, you guys are successful and your business is amazing and people want to travel to you guys, and that's the whole point of it. You don't want to have just like, oh, we'll just go down the street to a local like
That's right.
Starbucks or whatever, like, or everybody does that. Like,
Yeah. Or like, you know, that really cool donut shop in Indiana, you know, everybody goes to. It's like they
Yeah.
have one location
Yeah.
and you're going to wait 3 hours in line to get
Yes.
those donuts, right?
Yes, I've heard about that donut
it's,
shop.
It's like, that's beautiful. Like, you
Yes,
got to
it's
come travel to
special.
see us, you know? So, yeah, it's special. So,
The knowledge to like start your business and kind of go full throttle in the direction that you're going. Did you have any mentors growing up?
oh, yeah, we have tons of mentors. I would say more so like, for me, my brother kind of on the food and wine side. Business, we sort of had a couple, but it was a lot of learning on our own, you know, learning from like, mistakes and goods and bads. But we always just did it, right? We would think about it, we lay out a business plan, stuff of that nature, but we always felt good about what we were doing. We never, you know, we didn't wake up one day like, let's open a construction company. Like, I have no business doing construction, you know? Like, I have an eye for it, but I don't really know what it means. So everything we did, we felt confident in. We knew what we were doing, and we were like, we're gonna make it work. We're not gonna fail, you know. And knock on wood, it's always been great for us. Yeah, we had our failures. We closed a couple places, but a lot of it was stuff out of our control as well. So and by doing that, you do learn a ton. It's not a bad thing to close something. Sometimes it's a blessing. You know, you're like, man, we should have did that 2 years ago. So, and I think in any business, just like, you know, in Madeline's business, any, you know, salon, construction, whatever you're into, like the most important part, your employees. Without them, I mean, no one's Superman, you know. And also, who wants to do it by themselves? It's kind of boring and lonely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it takes a village, and I think the more successful we are, the more successful the team is, because, you know, we don't need it all, we don't want it all. We're happy to share the wealth.
That is awesome.
And if
I
it's
love
less
hearing
stuff
that.
off our plate, I'm like, good, take the money, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I just want a little freedom. So
Yeah.
You can't make it without the support either.
yeah, it's like,
You're all in it together.
yeah, and the guests as well. We have tons of cool regulars, and yeah, it's amazing. It's crazy to watch it work. And you know, in Camp Washington especially, people are like, you guys will never make it there. It'll be closed in 2 months, and you know, it's still rough and whatever. We're like, no, we'll make it, man. Like, there's nothing there otherwise, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's help build places up instead of just trying to join the forces, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I'm gonna ask you both a fun little question.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your proudest achievement? What happened in your life, rather it be anything that you're like, okay, like I'm proud, what it be the business or anything? Or what was a point in your life that you're like, okay, we made it?
you want to start or?
Sure, I'll start. Oh, that's a tough one because like the word proud, like I almost like hate saying that because it's like there's still so much work to be done.
Yeah.
It's like, how can I stop and be like, oh, I'm proud of myself for doing that? When like, no, like that takes me away from what I'm set to do, you know? Like
That's
I
such a
lose
good
track
point.
of my why, you know? But moments that helped me feel like I was growing, or that like I got to that next spot that could help me get to that next spot, was probably my first fashion week, or being backstage at like a really cool brand, you know, and like that's like unorganized chaos, and like you can barely breathe, and you're just like out of everyone's way unless someone needs a touch up, you know. But then that's like, okay, like I'm in the right spot, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, like I didn't, you know. And then now there's more work to do.
I'm sure,
I
like,
love that.
with you being a little stressed or whatever, but after that, I think that's the best time, like, where you're doing something that you're passionate about, you enjoy doing, you've reached that point where, like, okay, I'm pretty stressed out, but I like the brand. I love what I'm doing. And then when the dust settles, you're like, let's do that again.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
Let's do
Yeah,
that
we
again.
don't need any drugs back there. It's
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
all we need.
Yeah, adrenaline, and that's yeah.
Yeah. But my mentor helped me get to that point, so I have all of the thanks in the world to him, and we love him very much. But yeah, he's the only reason I'm back there. You know.
Awesome. What about you?
For me, I think it was opening our restaurant in San Francisco. You know, one of the hardest places to do it, most expensive. We were young. Me and my business partner were 24 years old, and we both been cooking for a very long time. And so many people said that we couldn't do it. They're like, you guys are too young. You'll never get qualified. You know, no one's gonna invest in you guys being kids. Blah blah blah. So we just kept fighting, and we had the space we wanted. And eventually there was this woman who was a financial advisor in San Francisco, and she caught on to us and tried our food. We did a bunch of pop-ups at the time, and she helped us build our business plan, and then we presented it to the SBA, and the SBA finally funded it for us, as well as two like local grants for 30 under 30,
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you're under 30 years old. And with that little bit of money and maxing out a couple of credit cards, like we were able to open up the restaurant, and we had a solid 8-year run, which probably would have been longer if it wasn't for COVID. But I think the day we opened, without anybody really like helping us or any investors per se, we kind of, for us, like threw that back in everyone's face a little bit. Like that was a proud moment. Like, you know what? Even at 24 years old, we still did it, guys. Because we weren't gonna let anybody not let us do it.
You were how old?
24. Yeah.
I'm 24 and I
So-
cannot imagine doing
Being
that.
in San Francisco, opening up your own
Yeah,
shop.
no.
So
Nope.
we really scrounged by. Like we really like until the day it opened. We painted ourselves. We did everything ourselves. We had a couple neighborhood people come in and like do some pro bono stuff, but we really came through. And I think so many people wanted to see us open this place. We fought for so long to do it. And I think that for us was like a proud moment. Like after the first 6 months, we sat down like, man, we did this without anybody's money, without anybody's like nonsense. For all the people out there that said we couldn't do it,
Yeah.
sorry, but F you,
Right. Like how inspiring. That's insane. You're like,
So
I'm going to do it anyways.
But
and it's gonna be
how
good.
dare somebody like, not support
Yes.
a young kid wanting to do
Right.
something? Like that doesn't
Right.
make any sense,
I think in today's society that like holds back a lot of people when you listen
100%.
to the naysayers.
Yeah.
Just because maybe they can't do it, or they
Right.
feel like you can't, or the general public's like, oh,
Yeah.
not that area. You won't be able to get anything off the
Sure.
ground. But to have the drive and ambition to be like, and the motivation to be like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do this together. And
Yeah,
we're
we're
going
gonna figure it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
So I
It's
think
so amazing.
I think that's how you can see value in what you do too. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the trenches, if you will, and doing everything from scratch, from painting to sourcing out your own finances, like that's a learning experience, right?
Oh yeah,
So
big time.
even if you weren't successful in that, at the end of the day, like you've learned something and you take that to the next thing.
That's right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you have to really want it
Yeah.
to do that. Like you have to really want it to go through the struggle.
And now it's like today we have people and investors come to us like, hey, what's next, or what can I help you guys? We're like, I don't want any. I don't need
I'm
the help
good.
now. It's too late. It's too late. Man.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for someone that is wanting to go down the same path as you guys?
For me, it's like just never give up hope. Never give up hope. Keep fighting for what you want. And I think what's important too is surround yourself with the like-minded people. If it's a restaurant you want to do, or a construction group, or a salon, or whatever, you got to keep surrounding yourself with those people. You got to keep talking with these people, and you gotta keep, and people are so scared to ask for help, and they're so scared to ask for opinions and whatever. But this is what's gonna get you there. The little extra help and a little extra suggestions and opinions will get you over that peak.
Get involved in your community.
Yeah, like everybody wants to be Superman when they're young, and everybody thinks they know it all, but it's not the truth. You really don't know much at all. Like you need to allow knowledge to come in, allow your head to be open, and surround yourself with good people, and you can do anything you want. It's all about the mindset. Your brain is the strongest thing ever. You can do whatever you want as long as your brain allows you to.
Knowledge is key. I
Yeah.
really wish, I mean, back in high school, you're like, I won't learn today, you know, kind of thing. But the growing up and stuff, being able to be willing to learn new things, I think sets anybody up for success.
That's
if you're
right.
willing to learn something, you can't just go in stuff. Yeah, you can look up YouTube videos on how to, but you still have to have that ambition to like want to learn.
That's
something,
right.
You know, want
Right.
to learn.
Yeah, put in your reps.
Yes.
Most people are just don't want to take the time to do that
Nope.
and then fail and then figure out how to fix it.
Yep.
But if you don't put in your reps, you'll never know.
Right.
You'll never get to the other side.
Yeah. Well said. on that.
Everybody wants everything now, today, but it takes our whole entire life to master this thing, man. And it should, right? You should spend your whole life mastering your craft and enjoying what you're doing and loving what you're doing. Don't do it because you're trying to prove something. Don't
Yeah.
do it to say that you did it. Do
Right.
it because it's for you, not for anyone else. Do it because you feel good about it.
So we were actually just speaking about this a few weeks ago, how we were just like, yeah, like people that try one time, like how you said, they want it now, and it doesn't work. They're like, all right, well then it's not for me. It's like,
Right, give it some time.
You look at people with a platform or businesses, they've failed before.
Oh, yeah.
There's no such thing as just a one and done, like, oh, and it takes off immediately. Like, we talk about even with like influencers, like they've been doing it forever, and that you have to start somewhere.
100%.
And I think that's really
Yeah,
that's
and
key.
be okay to fail. It's okay. It's not
Mhm.
a bad thing. It's all right. Just get up and do it again. You know.
I mean,
keep
how else are
going.
you gonna learn?
Right. It's right.
So I have another fun question for the both of you. What would you say would be something that's out of your guys' element? Whether it's maybe not so your thing, but you still try it, you still put in the work to kind of
Mine is sourdough making right now.
sourdough making. Oh,
It's not
okay.
going well.
I just saw a recipe for it, and always on my For You page. I'm like, why is it on my For You page? I'm not doing it.
Oh my god, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, the bread.
You have to
science.
dedicate like every day to it, you know?
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna start making sourdough. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right.
he probably laughed.
With
You
what
don't even have
time?
half the equipment.
What
Little do you
time?
know.
Yeah, when? Like making bread still takes time, you know. I don't know. For me, I would say like, probably like the whole marketing thing. Like, you know, I never was really good at marketing and, you know, social media and all that stuff, and trying to get good with it. And it's sort of necessity today, I think, right? Especially if you have a business.
Well, you refrained from
Um,
wanting Instagram like the majority of your life.
Yeah, it took
Until you
me-
met me. I'm like, the people got to know.
It took me a while to get on board with like that stuff. You know, I had like Facebook. and
Rightfully
stuff
so.
like that.
You just didn't.
So, you know, and of course we, you know, use it to our advantage and use it for business, but I still don't really understand what I do or anybody else does. You know, I'm like, what the hell are we even doing with this thing? Like, you know, you like put it on my story, this and that, TikTok, all this crap.
Yeah.
I have that stuff. I don't even know how to use it, man, honestly. It's crazy. Like, but it's so important to have it.
Yeah.
So it's strange.
When I got brought onto Element, I was brought on for social media, and it is crazy now that social media has gotten so big where there's a job title for
Right.
just social media. I mean,
It's
now
insane.
I'm the marketing manager here, but it is crazy in how social media is the #1 marketing tool.
It's
I
insane,
mean,
man.
and like
Truly.
the influence it has on people, you know, we talked about that too. I mean, it's crazy.
It's wild. And for me, it's like, you know, it's cool and I respect everyone's craft and work or whatever, but I think the downside or what kind of bugs me the most is that most of these people really don't have any experience behind what they're influencing, right?
Right.
It's like you have all these people that know about food all of a sudden, but they never step foot in a kitchen. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like you never cut a carrot in your life, and you're gonna try to tell somebody that's not the perfect carrot, but you don't even know what it took to get that thing on the plate.
Right.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
So that's like me coming into her salon saying, you know what, the haircut's really kind of subpar, but I'm this
I'd be
big
like, "Shit,
influencer.
it really must be subpar.
You
then."
know, like, but it's like how dare me come in there as an influencer, questioning her work that I know nothing about, just because I have 1 million followers.
right.
Who cares? You know, so that I think bugs me a bit. Now, send me a chef that's been doing this his whole life that knows what he's talking about. Then I'm happy to listen to him. You know, and I'm happy for him to put this out in the world.
The scary part
Exactly.
is like that generation though is the future, and we have to
Yes.
market to them because they're going to be paying my bills.
Yes.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So like if I don't market the way that they're perceiving, what's valuable to them, then I won't make any money. And that's like out of my element also right
yeah,
now.
it's tough, scary.
This show is about influencers too, because I want to know what their struggles are, and because there are some that maybe got lucky and then just started taking off, and then there's some where the ones that I know, they work their butts off, and they find the restaurants, and they find these clothing companies and really help build up their business, and I think that's really special to highlight too. But then I look at these like celebrities, I say, like on like social media that live in LA, right? And it's like they're talking about a skincare, and I'm like, well, what? You're not a dermatologist,
Right.
like like.
Exactly.
And it's like, but these companies pay
oh yeah,
these
big money,
people
100%.
to market the product, and it's like, why? What do they know? Like what you said, what do they know about it, kind of thing, you know?
It's very, very strange.
And I'm not downing every influencer, but
No,
it's just like
100%.
the ones in Hollywood, I'm sure they're amazing, but it's just like, it makes you think like, well, what do you know about a makeup brand or skincare and like stuff like, I'm like, it really is tricky.
Like 2 weeks ago, you weren't using our product, but now that you got a brand deal, you're like,
Right.
I'm an expert in
That's
this.
right.
And then what are
This-
you supposed to listen to, or what are you
Yeah.
know, like
And are you actually
what do
even
you take
using
with a grain of salt now or not?
Right. And are you actually even using that product?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
Right.
go check out your bathroom and see. I
Right.
doubt it.
I hate to say this, but social media has become one of those things where like some people didn't want to get on board with it, kind of like the internet, right? They're
Yep.
like brick and mortar will always be brick and mortar, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we'll open up an online shop,
Right.
and the internet obviously took off, and now it's the same thing. You got the naysayers that are like, oh, I don't think we should go down that route, but then you're missing out if you don't, and that's what sucks. I think just with change in general,
Having to conform.
yes,
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
Conform to a culture that just you see eats people alive.
yes.
Yeah.
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 It's
There's balance still, for sure.
It's gonna be an interesting future.
It is. It is. Well, this is a good segue to kind of close out. Thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah,
this
thank
has
you
been
both.
Thank you for having us.
Really nice to get to know you guys.
Absolutely.
This is In Your Element podcast. Randall Pink.
Natalie Kaufman.
Tony Ferrari.
Madeline Hiley.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.